it's Jackie and welcome back to my channel for another Euphoria inspired tutorial. I had so much fun recreating Cassie's Oklahoma look and I got a lot of requests to do Maddy, and I know her New Year's Eve look is probably the most iconic, but it's been done a lot, so I wanted to recreate the look that she wears when she is trying on outfits when babysitting. I thought it was very cool and very 90s, so hopefully you guys like my take on it, and if you do, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more pop culture videos every week. Also, big thank you to ColourPop for sponsoring today's video. I used a bunch of their products, not only ColourPop, but you can find like anything on the site. So if you see anything that I use that maybe is a little bit too pricey, you can always switch out for ColourPop. Great quality, and I love especially the lip combo that I used today and their lip liners. So if you want to shop ColourPop, you can use the code Jackie for money off. I finally have a ColourPop code, and let's get into it. I'll show you how I recreated this very 90s meets 2000s hair later on, and on Euphoria I know they use Nano Blur primer from the drugstore to help smooth out the pores. One of my personal favorites for priming is the Armani Beauty because it's very hydrating but still does fill in the pores. This ColourPop So Juicy Gloss is plumping, it smells amazing, and I wanted to prep my lips with it, plus it reminds me of the 90s Juicy tubes, so I'm gonna let that sit as I move on to foundation. Taking Rare Beauty, I added some to the back of my hand, stippled some of it off, and we're going to do a very light layer to even out the skin. I love this foundation, and again, something I love about the Euphoria makeup, there isn't heavy contouring, the brows aren't super drawn in, not a ton of false lashes used, so the makeup is more suited to be seen in person rather than super snatched for photography because that doesn't read as well in the daylight. Little goes a long way, and I'm going to use a bit of a brightening concealer under the eyes, around my nose and my chin. And these concealers will make the look more high coverage, so it's up to you, but I do find that these blend really well. And let's set with a bit of powder under the eyes. My go-to has been by Laura Mercier. It's very finely milled and it mattifies beautifully, especially under the eyes. And I have this ColourPop palette that has two blushes, a bronzer, and a highlight. I'm mixing the two Pinky Peaches together and adding the blush high up on the cheekbone and a little bit pushed back for placement. You can skip nose contour. I'm going to go in with a really light hand and create a bit of a shadow between my eyes and nose bridge to connect them more. And I usually contour to make the nose appear slightly thinner, but I'm just going to go more natural here and fade it out with my finger. Finish up with a subtle highlighter. The ColourPop Super Shock highlighters are my favorite. I think the moment I became obsessed with ColourPop is when I bought the full Malibu Barbie collection. That was the first time I had tried their Super Shock highlighter formula. That is a tongue twister to me. And you can either add the tiniest amount with a brush and you'll get a subtle glow, or you can pack it on with your finger like I did in the Victoria's Secret fashion show throwback look that I did, and you can have it really bold. Maddy's brows are understated, they're natural, but they do have more of a 90s shape to them, so instead of plucking mine, I'm taking a matte soft black powder, rimming the top of my brows in a soft rounded shape. Then with a bit of concealer, I'm going to clean up some of the hairs underneath to soften them up a bit. Of course, it'd be more convincing to have them plucked, but Maddy did have some stray hairs which kept the look a bit more modern and natural. This is the ColourPop Feelin' Coconutty palette, and this is a great palette for every day. It's also really nice moving into spring and summer and is inspired by tropical hues. Starting off with the shade Vacay, a matte cream with silver pinpoints, add this all over the lid. If you don't have a highlighter, you could use this shade as a subtle highlighter as well. Using Palm Tree, which is a matte cool brown, again with silver pinpoints, add this into the crease, and even though it is a cooler tone, it does have some warmth to it when applied with a light hand and blended out. You don't want it to be too blended outward so you lose the shape, and smoke out under the bottom lash line as well. This is such an easy look to do, and I'm only going to be using this one palette. Deepen up the outer corner one more time. This is Nuts For You, a matte cool deep brown. With the light hand again, I'm focusing this on the outer corner, and I cut my crease a bit lower. I wanted it to look a bit smudgier rather than like a perfect 60s type of cut crease. Finally, we're going to take the shimmery shade Cocoa Wild, which is an icy white with duochrome green and gold to it. And if you don't like any shimmer, you can keep with just the cream shade, but I think this gives a really cool effect to line the lash line. Adding some inner corner sparkle. And with a matte cream colored eyeliner, add this to your lash line, and if you have some setting spray, you can add some of that to your brush and take that icy shade and add this to your waterline too to really make the eye sparkle. One of the main traits about Maddy's makeup this season is very strong wings. Often she wore double wings and the liner would reach all the way past her brows at times. To create the wing, let's use the BFF liquid liner in black, also from ColourPop. I'm very particular about eyeliner. I would say it's a skill I'm not the most confident with, like oof, especially on other people, but this felt tip is very easy to use. So I like to map out the first bit of the wing. The hardest part to me is creating a very fine line as close as you can to the lash line connected all the way to the inner corner. Using that tip, draw a point down past the tear duct, and connecting that little portion between that tear duct and the lash line is the trickiest part where you might get a bit of a wobble, and if this happens, the easiest solution would be to let it dry and then add some of that shimmery shade back over top on a very tiny brush. It won't be absolutely perfect, but it'll camouflage it pretty well, and then I'm going to fill in that wing. And let's create another mini line similar to the Sophia Loren tutorial, just a little bit more toned down. Still using the same ColourPop BFF liquid liner, with a really light hand, I am etching this upwards, filling in right between the line and where my lashes connect, and while it's still drying, I'm fading out a bit so the line is softer. And let's do the other eye. Another eyeliner that I've recommended over the years have been the MAC brushstroke liner, and if you bought that one and really liked it, I would give the ColourPop one a go because this one's only $9 and you still get a beautiful effect. Finally, with the richest brown in the palette, smoking out under the bottom lash line one more time, and I love this eye makeup look. Curl your lashes, apply your favorite mascara. Maddy wasn't wearing falsies for this look, but you could add falsies if you want to add a lot of drama, and I'm using the Maybelline Sky High mascara here. For lips, I have the Truth or Bare Vault from ColourPop, and I'm big on cool-toned neutral lip liners. I've never liked any pink or peachy-based lip liners on me. I go for something that has a bit of taupe or brown to it. I went with a light hand with the shade Pitch. Fade this in, and Maddy wore a lot of brownie red shades through this season, which again were really popular in the 90s. There was a lip liner from Wet n Wild called Brandy Wine that was very popular at that time, and this combo reminds me of it. This is the lippy stick in Sassy. I blotted it on, took a bit off with my finger for more of a worn-in look, and I love the creamy finish. These have shea butter in them, vitamin E, so you get color, but you also have the benefits of a balm. And I feel like gloss is super 2000s, so I wanted to use one of these So Juicy glosses. Again, you can use the code Jackie for money off your ColourPop orders, and they do have a new release right now, the Last Airbender collection. My husband is a big fan of that show, so he thought that was really cool, and I think I color matched this look really well in comparison to Maddy. I just have a different undertone, of course, so I'm a little bit more neutral, but I lean a bit more pink, and Maddy is very olive, so the colors are going to read slightly different. Like this plum brown that I used is still appearing a bit more red on me, but these 90 tones will look good on everyone. And I do have a crop top that is very Maddy, so I wanted to throw that in here because I think it's the only thing in my wardrobe that is similar to her. And here's how to do the sleek bun. I went trendy with Olaplex products. I've never been able to do a really sleeked back bun, and these products definitely do help. So I took a bunch of the Olaplex number 6, used quite a bit, combing backwards, and it did make it a lot easier to manipulate into that high sleek bun. I'm going to go with no part because I find it easier to get it smooth, and after we have a high ponytail, adding more of the Olaplex oil to the ends, and we're going to wrap this into a ballerina bun. Once we get to the ends, flick it upwards and then pin with bobby pins so that it's secured. The cream also really helped the hair stay in place in the bun shape. This quick and easy hairstyle is really chic, and lathering these nourishing products to your hair isn't damaging, but I am going to use some color spray, which isn't the best for your hair. With a bit of duo glue, I cut 2 pieces from a wig, and I'm going to blend in with the L'Oreal Root Touch-Up as I was talking about. I filmed this on a different day, so I did the same makeup, but I went with a stronger nose contour, went with a bolder lip, and of course you can take down some face framing pieces if you already have your hair cut that way. And I hope you have fun trying out some of these tips and tricks to add a little Maddy into your beauty routine. If you love 90s styling, you might like this series of 90s hairstyles I did to go with this makeup, and I don't glue any hair for that one. Or if you're watching the second season of Bridgerton, check out the Daphne hairstyles I did, and I'll see you in my next video.